Hello, this is Brian. Today is Wednesday, May 25th, 2022, and I am in San Clemente Canyon in San Diego. I'm at the junction of the main canyon bottom trail, and this stretch goes up towards Genesee Avenue's staging area. And I'm at the junction of the main trail and the Cobb Trail that leads up to Cobb Drive in a short distance. So, I'm here just admiring this monster California sycamore, Platanus racemosa. You could say that this would be an ode to California sycamore video. Already spotlighted this tree in August of 2020. And so this is going to be an ode and appreciation video to one of the trees that really makes this canyon special. We got a lot of different types of trees here. We got coast live oak. We got several types of willows here. And then we get these humongous sycamore trees that are just very old growth trees, probably hundreds of years old. A lot of the really old trees here have been affected by dieback, probably drought and stuff like that, but the trees themselves didn't completely die. They produced trunks that came up from the roots. This is a multi-trunk behemoth right here. I remember this tree, just an absolute monster. It's probably got a circumference of like 15 feet. I mean, I'm not going there to measure it because it's all caught by old growth poison oak. So I'm not that crazy, but you can see, you can get the trunk goes from about there, goes from about there to there. And it also has another huge old trunk over here. And a younger subsidiary trunk right here. So you see a lot of these trees are multi-trunked, especially the newer resprouts, because some of these old ones have died back and then sent up new stems from the roots. And I would not be surprised if that large piece over there is a part of this tree, part of the same organism, probably the same root system. So California sycamores, they can get enormous. They can potentially get about as large as the American sycamore, Platanus occidentalis, of the eastern half. Let's see here, huge limbs. You can tell this tree has been here for a very long time. Probably about it's probably about 70 feet tall. It's extraordinarily tall, but just the amount of biomass this tree contains is just amazing. Absolutely amazing tree. And there are a lot of really old sycamores here in San Clemente Canyon. You can see some pretty tall ones. A lot of those are probably resprouts too. I would be willing to almost willing to bet that those are probably resprouted stems and trees. But this one here has stood the test of time. It has survived where the other ones have. It has survived basically entire, whereas the other ones have died back and resprouted. But this is just a true testament of how immensely large California sycamores can get. Look back here a little bit, see if we can get a bigger perspective. It's hard to get a really good perspective because this tree is so large. Very widespread. And of course, since these trees give off that woodsy aroma, it smells heavenly over here. Just absolutely amazing tree. Absolutely amazingly beautiful tree. Humongous. I think this could be one of the largest California sycamores, if not the largest California sycamore I've ever seen. I've seen some pretty decent sized ones too. But some of these older ones here in San Diego are absolutely amazing. And there's some other old growth stuff down there too. There's another huge old sycamore trunk. Again, I'm not trying to go through there and brush up against all that poison oak, but there's some very large sycamores here. We had lots of huge old oaks too, but a lot of them died. There are a lot of young oaks here too that have come back, thankfully. And we have an old, well, maybe I can get to some of those old ones. Here's a San Diego mountain mahogany, Cercocarpus minutiflorus. It's an oldie and goodie. Let's see if I can get to towards some of those large sycamores without doing some poison oak wading. And unfortunately, poison oak is growing all over here. I'm not taking that chance. But over here, you can see another large old sycamore trunk. I believe these can get about as large as those Platanus occidentalis, the one you find in the eastern half of the U.S., North America. And those get huge too. I've seen them in New Jersey. Here's a younger one right here. Almost thought it was a coast live oak because of the weird fur wing, typical of Quercus agrifolia, variety agrifolia. But no, the splotchy bark up here suggests, nope, we got California sycamore here too. So if you want to hear more about the general details of California sycamore, check out my spotlight on trees for California sycamore, filmed at Monte Cristo Campground in the Angeles National Forest, the San Gabriel Mountains. If you want a little more general detail, but just had to show how amazing some of these old sycamores are here in San Clemente Canyon. And this is the canyon I came to a lot as a kid because I lived just up the mesa from here in Claremont, and so I grew up with these old sycamore trees. When I was a kid, I used to think they were maples because they do have maple-shaped leaves. But then I started learning about trees and came to know about these California sycamores. And ever since, it's been an awesome time being around these trees. I've seen some huge trees that were hollowed out and had beehives in them, nests, animal nests. Lizards love crawling up these the lower portions of these trunks as well. So, look at that. There's an old, unfortunately, a deceased oak. But there are lots of old sycamores down here. I'd say at least 80% of them are multi-trunked. So some of these trees might be much older than we think they are. Would not be surprised, to be honest with you, how old some of these trees might very well be. But yeah, you get these old, see these younger stems here, probably from an old tree from an old snag that fell, sent up new root shoots. Here's another one. That brown right there is all part of a huge old trunk. That's all right there. That's all part of a tree trunk. That's not the hillside and dirt. That's it's one of the tree trunks. So you know where to look. You can find some humongous old growth California sycamore. San Clemente Canyon is one place where you're going to find a lot of them. So that freeway noise you might hear, that's the 52 freeway between La Jolla and where I live in Santee. And so you get off on Genesee, just go south for half a block, and then you'll see the entrance. You'll have to make a U-turn at the 52, probably. At the 52 on-ramp wherever there's a permitted U-turn. But yeah, these California sycamores definitely were a huge part of how I grew up to be such an avid tree fanatic. A lot of that started down here in these canyons, these urban canyons between the flat top mesas of San Diego. Now that I'm living in San Diego County again, you'll probably expect a lot more videos of these canyons. Just enjoying these beautiful old sycamores. This tree's got like about 10, probably about 10 trunks in there. Some of them are quite large. These trees are capable of reaching 80 to 120 feet tall. That height is not super common, but I can just imagine how enormous those ones must be at the base. But when you're in San Diego, come to one of these urban canyons that has these little ephemeral stream beds. Watch out for poison oak when you're here, but take time to appreciate Platanus racemosa, the beautiful California sycamore. Let's get a little close-up of the leaf. So if you haven't seen my spotlight video, you'll be able to identify it by its leaf. Huge leaves, especially when they're young, they're really fuzzy, and they're star-shaped, kind of similar to a maple, but the leaves alternate on the stem. They're not opposite each other, so you know you're looking at those instead of maples. And I don't think there are any native maples in this canyon. So there you have it. Leafy, beautiful California sycamore. Come here in late fall and check out their orangish brown fall color. They go from yellow to orangish brown, and does provide a contrast between the typically yellow fall color of the willows and cottonwood trees down here, and also contrasts with the red and orange hues of the poison oak and skunk brush. So there you have it. Enjoy that beautiful mottled colored bark, and then at the base of the trunks often cracked and furrowed. And enjoy a sycamore tree. Just come down here, just enjoy the whole place. So that'll do it for this ode. There might be another ode to this tree down the way if I find another monster specimen, but there you have it. Platanus racemosa. Thanks for watching my ode to California sycamore, and I'll see you on another